Good morning, good morning. I mean, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is. Welcome to this streaming. Hi, let's see if we've got 12 people. That's lovely. Let me know if you can hear me as usual. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? And let's see if we get some comments. Let's do live chat so we can see all comments. Splendid. Oh, there you go. Salve, salve. Yes, audio's good. Hello, welcome. Leonidas Sparta, that's a nice channel right there. Hello to you. Welcome. You guys should go check him out. Hello, hi. Hi, hello from Brazil, says Kita Kiss. Hi, hello mate, hello Pierre. It's good to have you here. Just finishing to put on the arming doublet. Thank you for the congratulations. Knight of Ultha says yo. I've got some water right here. We are right on time. Sort of, 9 minutes late, but for a southern Italian, it's actually quite good. Hello, Trent, thank you. Hey, Hamius669 from Canada, that's lovely. So I guess you don't say sorry, you say sorry. I can't do the Canadian accent, I apologize. But I know you guys pronounce sorry differently than the people in the States. Good morning. Hello from New York City. Hey, Coney, love New York. Which part of New York are you in? Really like New York. Hey, Giovan Battista Di Salvo. Ciao. Congratulations. Thank you. Hey, thank you for the congratulations, Leonidas. Yeah, the house is nice. And this is my new office. Today I'll give you a little tour. Let's wait for people to come in first. And then, yes, it is in the US, Ethan. We've got a new house here in Tennessee. It's a lovely place. I mean, we just moved. We literally just moved. And can you play guitar in full play tama? Says Oscuro. Yes. I guess. I mean, yeah, shouldn't be a problem. Hello, Lucas from Ireland. Welcome. We've got 125 people. That's a lot of people. So today I'm going to show you around a little bit my new office here, which is of course just one of the rooms of my house. But I like saying office because it makes me feel important, like I'm someone, someone with a, I've got an office. Oh wow. Yeah. Anyway, this is where I make my content. So I suppose it means that it's the place where I spend most of my time. Welcome everyone. Thank you. Thank you for the congratulations. I mean, it's hi. T.S. Apostolos, do you have a big backyard? I have a ginormous backyard, which is where I actually film most of my TikToks on my TikTok Metatron YouTube channel. But I am going to start making content for the main channel there as well. I'd like to underline, I mean, this new house where we moved to, it's a fantastic place, but it's still renting. We just moved from an apartment to a full-on house. We've got 2 floors, we got more space. It's a bit more expensive. I can't... Some people might ask me, why didn't you just buy? And the thing is that I'm not allowed to buy, in the sense that... you need to live in the US, even if I'm married to an American. I need to live in the US for a couple of years before I'm allowed to buy. But it's a wonderful step. Maybe eventually we'll be able to get a full-on, actually purchase a house. But still, this is wonderful. We've got a lot more space. It's a wonderful place. I've got a lot more room. Like my room now is like, it's amazing. And I have a huge garage, which of course I turned into an armory. Like it has all my armor, all my weapons. It's a nice situation. Repentant turn, yeah, I guess could wait for the right time to buy. Also, it's a good idea. But it's definitely an improvement. Yes, it's a 2-story house with a full-on backyard and front yard, and it's a lovely place. Zata Martin, it's just water, my friend. Just trying to keep hydrated, and I like water with ice. What can I say? Near Nashville, not exactly Nashville city, but near Nashville, yes. Hi, welcome. Man cave, yes, this is a full-on man cave. I mean, as I say, I'll show you in a little bit. Let's get to 300 people, and I'll show you. I'll take you around my new office and my new man cave. Really, that's what I should call it. And back at the Mediterranean is still winter. Yeah, I know. Well, here it is still coldish. And I suppose, I mean, if you are up in New York, it's probably pretty cold, very cold. Here is still kind of coldish, but yeah, I'll take you downstairs to show you the armor, Ollie. Let's make it into one of the steps of today. We're going to show you first the man cave, then we upgrade to the full armory. Where's your wife? She's downstairs with her mother, so my mother-in-law. They're just talking a little bit. What action figures have you got in the background? I'll show you the action figures at 100 likes. How about that? We get, it's like quests. It's like quest now. It's a side quest, you know, because the main quest, I suppose, is the armory downstairs. That's the main quest. But the side quest, we've got some interesting figures there, which I will show you in a moment. Metatron always ready with his armor. Absolutely, absolutely. Got my breastplate here. Love it. It's always fun. Hey, Baron von Boom Boom. Good to have you here. Raffinis models, absolutely. 91 likes, 9 more likes, and 8 more likes, and we have a look at those figures over there. Thank you, Ad Astra. It's a pleasure to have you here. Are you in the US, Mr. Willie asks? Or Wiley, I don't know. Yes, I am in the United States of America. Will you decorate the walls with arms and armor? I'm doing it in the garage. So this room, my man cave, is just basically video games, tech, miniatures, everything. Like my new Alienware computer is here with a 1440 something. I don't know, the new graphic card, and now I can't remember to save my life. 4090 is it? Anyways, so everything here is high tech. Everything here is my other side of what I like. But downstairs, my garage is where you enter into a medieval / samurai / ancient Roman area. 4090, yes, thank you, that's the one. So I kind of divided the two things, because in my previous house, which was an actual apartment and had a lot less space, I had to mix everything up. It was a mess, really. So my man cave had, like, I don't know, Xbox Series X, breastplate, PlayStation 5, Roman shield. It was a mess. But now I've divided my two hobbies, which are gaming. Oh, by the way, 116 likes. Goodness gracious. You guys are amazing. You're faster than I can compute. So let's have a look at this. This is my showcase situation. See if I can turn around the camera. Of course I can. I'm a YouTuber. I don't even know how to use these things. Anyways, we've got some Tau. Let me just open it so you don't get the reflection. We've got some very nicely painted Tau miniature. So I painted everything except the big guy. The big guy, I just bought it from a guy who painted it. But everything else I painted myself. And then we've got Overwatch, because I like Overwatch. Widowmaker. I'm the main Widowmaker, but I like her. And then at the very bottom we've got what's that name? Goodness gracious. Anyways, Tracer. And then down there I've got the game of the month. So every month I put a different retro game here. This is an original, of course, from the 90s, and in excellent conditions. So this is part of my man cave. We'll move to the next part in a little bit. And for now, let's that's what I have there. That's my display case, and it's lovely, really. Thank you everyone for joining. Luna Corvus, that's pretty cool. A pretty cool name you've got there. Nathan plays Tau. Really? Your husband plays Tau? That's really cool. I like the Tau a lot. I think the reason why I like the Tau is because they're a mix between, of course, Warhammer 40k, which is where they are, so that universe, and I suppose anime robots. It's like, it's a mix. Since I like both, then I like them very much. Before that, I used to really like, and I still do, Eldari. I'm more of an Eldari player, mostly because on fantasy, I'm mainly a high elf player, with Bretonia to the side as well. Where did you move to the USA? Yes, I live in the USA, Salvatore. Snafu, thank you for the super chat, $5, appreciate. Don't forget to add the GUNS, heavy artillery, to your armory collection. When you get your citizenship, this is America, you can own mostly everything. We already have those, of course, through my wife. So I don't technically own them, but they're in the house. Okay, Leonidas, I play Dark Elder. Oh, I see. But started making a Spartan themed Space Marine chapter. Of course, you, you did a Spartan. I think it sounds perfect. It sounds really nice. Very cool. Very cool. Orcs, Bests, and Undergravity. I freaking love Warhammer 40k. I've been playing the game Gladius, and it's really, really fun. Digital Forge says, are you going to give the man cave a medieval theme? I'm giving the garage a medieval theme. I'll have all my shields up there, because it's a really big garage, and today I'll show you. and I'll just have to make sure, of course, not for you, but because you noble ones are amazing. But I'm just saying, I trust you like my brothers and sisters. But any random could join this, and I need to make sure that I don't show the plates on my car, which is in the garage right now. So I'll have to kind of do a little magic. But you know how it is. Since you have U.S. citizenship, says Bruno, does that make you an armored American? I still don't have the U.S. citizenship because you need to be married to an American for at least 3 years, and we have only been married for a year, so it's still gonna take some time. So there's that. Let's see. Okay. So Broom 2 can ask which state you're in. I'm in Tennessee right now, and that's where I am. Flawless Cowboy, my boy Metrodon, be moving up in the world. Respect. Thank you, my friend. Have you tried get Kenzie into modeling? Asks Baron. We play, yeah, we play. We played fantasy mostly because I have a lot of fantasy armies, and so I can lend her one. She enjoys it every once in a while. I think if she ever did get a Warhammer 40k army, she would go for the Tyranids because she likes Zerg in StarCraft. So I think that those would be the ones she would go into. That's what she plays on Gladius when we play games together. So that's that. Let's see. A Monday morning live stream. I don't know where you are. If for you it's morning, are you somewhere in the east? Because here it's afternoon, in Europe it's evening. I suppose you're somewhere in the east. Well, let me know where you are. Clue. I'm trying to understand the name. Aurelianish says, how often do you visit Sicily? Do you miss Italy? I miss Italian food and I miss the people in Italy. As a country, I love Italy, but I'm used to not being there because of course I was brought up in Italy until my late teens. Then I moved to the UK. Then I went back to Italy. Then I moved to Japan. Then went back to Italy. Then I moved here. So like I've been moving around so much for my entire life that I am used to the idea of not being there. But how often do I go back? Well, it's been a year now. I guess we'll go back in summer. So maybe every year and a half or something like that. Bruno asks, would you buy a GUN? Yes, I would. Let's see. Greetings from Portugal. Hey, Hugo. Thank you so much for being here. Repent and turn to Jesus says, you have cool hair. Can we see it? Yeah, I guess it's a lot of hair, really, but here it is. It's just wet because I just had a shower before coming here. Thank you. MS, you can buy a Black Power GUN. Yeah, actually, I'd like to get that. Like maybe even some flintlock or something like that, just to make videos about it. Although again, you make videos and then they demonetize you, so you know what it is. You know how it is, but it would be nice. It's silly to me because I understand if people are not using GUNs, well, I'm gonna say guns and effort. If people don't use guns responsibly, then yes, those videos should be flagged because you want to make sure that you don't encourage people to not be careful, right? Because it's a weapon, but any weapon is a weapon, really. I mean, with anything like that, with swords, with blades, you need to make sure the channels don't encourage, particularly the youth, to not be careful. With that being said, if something is used for educational purposes, like if you're showing, as I say, black powder, flintlock mechanisms, and it's done in safety with the proper safety gear, and you're doing it for teaching in a sort of demonstration capacity, it's silly that then you get demonetized. It's turning into a weird world where only what appears matters and not what really is and what people are actually doing, and I personally don't like that. Says Zumbi Maluku by a real Tanegashima. Yeah, absolutely. Tanegashima Teppo would be very fun to experiment with, and as you know, I have one, but it's a replica that is made so that it cannot shoot. And I think the reason why they did that at Iron Mountain Armory is because they didn't want to have any problems, particularly with international laws, and every single country has a different import-export law when it comes to those things. So they just went that way. But it would be very interesting to have a functioning replica and to use it. And, you know, that would be fantastic. I would love to do that. But it is what it is. Let's see. Greetings from Venezuela, says Keryundara. Hi, good to have you here. Thank you. Chrono says, will you buy other sets of armor? Yes, I've recently bought a samurai set of armor. It's this time it's Date clan. My previous one was Takeda. The Takeda clan samurai armor I sold to actually one of you. And the new one, it's very nice. It's a smooth blade. It's not my latest video, but it's the previous one. Unfortunately, I believe many of you didn't get the notification for that. In fact, it didn't get many views. But I think some of you would really enjoy it. Thank you, Baron. I appreciate that you like it. Will I buy more suits of armor? Hopefully. I mean, that's what I like doing. That's what I do. Being financially responsible and buying as much armor as possible. That's what I do. It is what it is. But yeah, that's the plan. Let's see. Someone wrote in Arabic, but I can't read it. Let's see. Good to see you this morning. Appreciate your content. Thank you, Ace Lee. It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm gonna need a refill in a little bit. Of course, again, it's water. YouTube, don't ban me. Hello from Utah. Hey, Austin. Which part of Utah are you in? I've got quite a few friends in Utah. One of my dreams, now that I live in America, one of my dreams eventually, it'll probably take me a decade or two, but one of my dreams is to visit every single one of the 50 states. So far, I've only been to Tennessee, obviously, because that's where I live. I've been to Georgia, I've been to New York, and I've been to Alabama, because my wife's grandparents are in Alabama, so we went to Alabama, and I think that's it. Yeah, these are the 4 states I've seen so far. So I still got, as you say, Kentucky's just around the corner. I was reading someone from Kentucky in the comments. So yeah, Kentucky's just around the corner. I suppose Texas is not far away. I think, Tennessee borders with a lot of states. If I'm not wrong, it might be the one state that borders with the most. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm looking into American geography when I learn it right. So there's that. Maryland, absolutely, Moonsault. I'd love to visit Maryland. I've got a friend who just bought a house in Maryland, actually. So that would be very, very nice. And Marcello asks, ciao Metatron, sei siciliano? Sì, sono siciliano. Yes, I'm from Sicily. I've been living in America for a year, but I've actually learned English in the UK when I was a teenager, which puts it like, I don't even want to say how many decades ago, but it was a very long time ago. And here I am. I used to be an English teacher in Italy, and that's that. Florida, the place to be. I'd love to visit Florida, to be honest. Florida and California, like the right two opposites. But I think I would really like those 2 states, mostly because being from Sicily, I like coastlines. That's what I like. John Orchard, thank you for your $10 super chat. Appreciate. Good to see you, number 1. I'm writing historical fiction for Julius Caesar, Alexander the Great, Cleopatra, and a number of other historical figures. I would love to have you as an advisor. Please feel free to contact me through my email that you will find in the information tab here on YouTube. And you can just, contact me there and we can talk about it. Thank you for the donation. And we've got £10 from Aaron. Thank you. I assume already the answer is Roman, but do you have a favorite historic cultural religion? Example, Shinto Buddhism from Japan. Religion. Well, yeah, I do like, from a historical point of view, I suppose you're asking, I am very interested in ancient Roman, like Vestal, the Vestals, religion of Vesta and all of those. Like, if you ask me what I like to study for personal interest, then yes, classical religions are very fascinating. Fascinating to me. But yeah, Shinto is interesting. I studied Shinto a little bit at university, and then of course I visited a few Shinto shrines when I was in Japan, because I used to live there. I'm hoping to be able to take my wife to Japan because she's never been, and I know she would love it. Japan is great, and then I could make a few videos there in Japan. So there is that. Have you ever been to Croatia? I have been to Croatia. Have I been to Croatia? No, I've never been to Croatia. And it took me a second because I've been to a few places. Like I've been to Caporetto, but that's in Slovenia, I believe. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I just offended someone. But no, I've never been to Croatia. I have a friend from Zagreb, but I've never been to Croatia. Also, just so you know, I see we've got 232 people watching. Thank you for all the likes. Just so you know, I have been thinking of opening a full-on official second channel. So just you're the first ones to know this. In fact, I'd like to know what you think about the idea, because as you know, I do already have a second channel, but it's unofficial in the sense that it's a channel where I just post content in Japanese every, I don't know, a few months just to practice my Japanese, but it's not a channel that I'm planning on actually grow. But my second channel is going to be basically a channel entirely dedicated to languages, but not just modern languages, but also ancient languages, and how to pronounce names in Latin, and a lot of interesting fact, and also regular lessons, like, you know, I could teach Japanese, I could teach Mandarin, I could teach Italian, and tell people how I picked up the languages that I did, and sharing that, which is something that I used to do on this main channel, but I don't anymore. Mostly because I don't feel that most people are here for the language part, but I know that some of you are, because some of you actually found my channel through the language content. So I'm thinking of making a channel. I'll call it, it already exists, but it has basically almost no subs. It's called Metatron Speaks, and at the end of the streaming, I can put the link down here, but I just wanted to know before I actually commit and start making full-on content, and I already post a little bit of very focused language content on Patreon, but I also wanted to kind of support that with a full-on channel dedicated to that. So let me know what you think. I see some people saying sounds awesome. Thank you. So I will go back and read again the comments here on this section. So if you can express your opinion, I will also make a poll later on. I will read it, because I want to see what people actually think of the idea of a full-on active second channel where I could just mostly focus on language learning. Thank you, Dapper Helljumper 101 for your $5 donation. I appreciate it. Look out for the show of shows up in Louisville. Okay, Louisville. 1 second, I need to click it. There you go. I've gone to it's 2 years in a row and have come across several Japanese-made matchlogs. Okay, I will. Thank you. Thank you for that suggestion. Absolutely, check it out. That would be very interesting. Would 1 second. Would the second channel be under this channel, like a group of videos in a playlist, or another completely separated channel? I would, of course, cross-reference to the two channel, but think of it similar to what, for example, Shad is doing. He's got Shadiversity as his main channel, and then he's got Night's Watch. I would have a second channel. I think he mostly does streams there, I believe, and then movie reviews and stuff like that. This would be full on for language learning, but still connected to history. So I still want to do something that can be interesting, even for people who are interested in history. And then also, you know, I have 15 years of experience in teaching languages. So I thought, why not? Why not doing it? Maybe, as long as it's fun, I think that's the most important part. Hey, Yulo, hi, thank you for being here. Link to second channel in the description. I'll put it at the end of the of this, absolutely. Actually, let me see if I can do it literally from my computer, because I'm at my computer right now. So if I switch account, go to Metatron Speaks, here it is. It has the whopping number of subscribers. It has a massive number of subscribers. It has 117 subs at the moment. No videos. And okay, so I got it. Let me bring it to this channel and put it in the description. Why not? And see what happens. I mean, I suppose I'll make a full-on mention, you know, on one of my videos, but why not? It's a good idea. Here I am. I'm inside my, I feel like I've broken the fourth wall right now, because I'm actually watching my own stream that I'm streaming right now on my computer right there. So that's happening. But let me see if I can put it in the video description somehow. Well, I can definitely say something, so I'll put it here and post it. So that's the link to my channel, to this second channel. And I see, can I put it in the description somehow? I don't even know. Maybe, but I'll probably do that afterwards. But it's there, you know. You can scroll up, and then I'll figure out a way to put it here. And I'm going to put this in the description as well of my, let me see, of my channel description, if I can find it. You know, you would think, since I've been doing this YouTube full-time for like 8 years, you would think that I would know what stuff is. Are you able to do push-ups in your arm, asks Duck. Yes, yeah, absolutely, I can do it. It's just that the problem is not really the armor; it's the fact that I'm not particularly fit, and so I guess if I wear, then probably that would be that would work better. Okay, right. So, anyways, it's in the. I'll post it again in a little bit here, and see what happens. Let me see. Just 1 second. Oh, there you go. Hi. Hello. So Kenzie says, you look so handsome. Thank you. That's my wife. Hi. Gugas is asking, am I teaching my wife to speak Sicilian or Italian? I teach her to speak Italian mostly, but she has also learned a few Sicilian words that she uses for fun and that make my relatives back in Sicily laugh. So yeah, she's doing really well. She's learning some Italian and some with a little bit of Sicilian sprinkled here and there, I suppose. Hey, Metatron, what do you think of the Nordicists? So what do you mean exactly by Nordicist, Hans? So let me know, maybe post again so I can address your question. Hi there.
Camorria.
Camorria, there you go, that's a Sicilian word.
Hi, Jet.
Hi. So here we are. Hey, Richard Mariano, thank you for your donation. I'm not sure what currency that is, but I very much appreciate. Anyway, possible to discuss Filipino blades. It may be as a collaboration with someone more knowledgeable than me on blades, such as, for example, Matt Easton from Schola Gladiatoria. That could be an interesting idea. But thank you for the suggestion. I'll look into it. Eduardo Ferreira, thank you so much for the 100 euros donation, mate. You are the man. You are very generous. I very much appreciate that. As someone who has worked hard his entire life, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Hello, Metatron. Just want to wish you a great day to you and to your wife. Thank you. I want to apologize for not seeing your videos recently. No worries. I worked as a waiter and now I'm looking for a new job while trying to get my comic series published. Un grande abrazo, maybe that's how it's pronounced. Big hug. Yeah, that's what it means. Un grande. Very cool. Is that Portuguese? Thank you so much for your donation. You've been very, very generous. And I used to work, before becoming a YouTuber, I was a full-on language teacher. Before being a language teacher, I was a waiter. I worked as a waiter for like over almost 3 years, really. So I understand how hard that work is. I respect people that do that job. I mean, I respect people who do any job. But that one particularly, I know how hard it can get. So thank you for that. Appreciate. Damn, she's a keeper says to say thank you. Appreciate. I'm very fortunate. Luna Corwus, thank you for your $10 donation. I very much appreciate. Thank you so much for the support. The currency is euro. I'm surprised you don't know that. Really, that's the euro symbol. I've never seen it like that. I always see it as a E with the cuts. I've never seen it like that. Okay, thank you for the explanation. It's really funny, actually, that I couldn't recognize the euros. Oh, that's really funny. Where is the Metatron waiting channel? Yeah, I should make a channel where I wait with the plates. I was actually pretty good at carrying many glasses. I would actually put up a show. Particularly when I was in Japan doing this, because in Japan I did many different jobs, including this. And I would do it, and then the Japanese would start taking pictures, because I was pretty good at that. I'd have to show pictures one day at carrying a lot of glasses in one hand. So that was that. Thank you, Dundane. Mum, your wife is so lovely. Appreciate. Thank you so much. And yep, it's Portuguese. Yeah, I thought it was Portuguese. Portuguese is such a cool sounding language. Really like it. Val Waters asks, what languages do you plan on teaching us in the second channel? I'm thinking to put some English lessons, which of course you guys don't need, but for people who might, and then some Italian, standard Italian, maybe even Sicilian, because who teaches Sicilian on the tube? So some Sicilian dialect, and then perhaps Chinese, Mandarin Chinese, Japanese. I'll start with that, and then we'll see. I'll start with that, but definitely Latin in collaboration with Luc Ranieri. Absolutely classical Latin, and make more videos to explain the difference between classical and ecclesiastical and medieval Latin and all that kind of stuff, and ancient languages. That could be very, very interesting. So we'll have to see. And then I'll definitely make tutorials on like how to pronounce all the different kinds of armor components and weapons in Latin, like stuff that is kind of, related to this channel. That could be interesting. So that's the plan. Parker says, just want to say thank you, Metatron, as your channel is what got me into Roman history. So just want to say thank you. My pleasure. Gratias Tibiago. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you like Roman history. I think it's really fun, isn't it? Paolo asks, is Sicilian considered a language? Technically, no, it's considered a dialect. Sometimes it can be, it's really more of a political thing than it's a phenomenon of social linguistics. It's a political thing rather than an actual linguistic thing. I once read this quotation that said a language is always backed with a it was something, I don't remember it, I'll misquote it, but it was like a dialect is a language without a navy and an army, and it's behind it. So that's true, and I don't think that if someone is asking, someone saying Sardinian is a language, I agree, but then again, Sicilian is, like, my dad is from the north, okay? When I speak Sicilian to him, he doesn't understand a word. If I'm going really full on Sicilian, not just Italian with a Sicilian accent, when I switch the words, he will understand more Spanish than he does Sicilian. So, it's kind of arbitrary. Then, even though it is not mutually intelligible. Sometimes it is. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not. I personally believe, if you really want to hear my opinion, it's controversial, but I don't think Sicilian is a dialect of Italian. I think Sicilian is a dialect of Latin. That's how I would see it, because it's not as conservative as Sardinian is. Sardinian is closer to classical Latin. But it is, like, for example, in Sicilian, we tend to put the verb at the end, something they did in Latin and they don't do in Italian. And let me give you an example. This is going to blow your mind, so you have an idea what kind of content I'm going to make on the second channel. But check this out. The word for shield in Latin is scutum, right? Scutum. Now, it's written with an M, but the M is not fully pronounced. It's only nasalized, like they do in Portuguese if you do classical. So it's scutum. It's just it's not scutum, okay? It's scutum, right? Now, in Italian, that's scudo. In Sicilian, it's scutu. Now, literally, Sicilian is the same as Latin without the M. There is the T, there is the U at the end. I could give you a lot of examples like this. So, in my opinion, Sicilian should be a dialect of Latin, not really Italian. But that's just me. That's just me. I might be right, I might be wrong, who knows. Josh Orchard, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Classical Latin, Greek, and Aramaic. It would be nice to start. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe Hebrew rather than Aramaic. But yeah, explain how the Rosetta Stone works. That could be interesting. I'll keep notes of this. I'm actually Rosetta Stone works. I'm gonna take notes. Rosetta Stone. So yeah, absolutely, should totally do that. That could be nice. So I understand why you said Aramaic now, because you were referring to the Rosetta Stone. Repentant unto Jesus says, I saw your video on the shroud. Thanks. I'm sure you like that one, considering your username. But yeah, absolutely. That's actually the fourth installment into the series dedicated to the figure of Christ, and I'm still going to make a few more like that. So there's that. Ink Benefication says, thank you for the donation, $10 Canadian. Hi, Metatron, have you, let me click it so I don't lose it. 1 second, here it is. Have you ever been to Albania? It's a pretty nice country where a lot of people speak Italian, funny enough. I've never been to Albania, but I had, I know that because I had friends from Albania who moved to Italy, and their Italian, they had an accent, but their Italian was pretty good. Also because I believe back in the day, Albanians used to get Italian television a lot. So like they would listen to a lot of Italian. That's what they would tell me that. So very nice. Let's see. Let's see. It's an interesting question. Biaj says, do you consider the Byzantine Empire to be a continuation of the Roman Empire? I think it's a spin-off. It's a Greek spin-off. That's what I think. Let's see. Do you make your own shields? I don't. I pay professionals to make shields for me. For example, I worked with Scutae Borealis. He made the Viking shield that you can find on the channel with all the links. And then I work with Fabrica Cacti, and they make my Roman scuta. So yeah, that's what I usually do. And it's a lot of comments. It's a lot of comments. Let's see. So let's get to 300 likes. We need 10 not that likes really matter too much to the algorithm, but I enjoy them. So, so it's a side quest. So let's get to 300 and then we'll have a little tour of the man cave. Hands 100. Northerners think that North Europeans are better than anyone else. They love pale skin, blonde hair, these things. Oh, I see. Let's see. It's common with Germanics. You ask, you explain. Okay, yeah, I understand. So, well, I don't believe that anyone is better than anyone, to be honest. I think it's a case-by-case scenario. You got great people in any ethnicity and you got horrible people in any ethnicity. I look at the individual, I don't look at where they are from, to be honest. Of course, there are cultures that I like more than other cultures. I would be lying if I didn't say that. But with that being said, yeah. So there is that. Thank you, Thomas. I always feel pompous, presumptuous when I attempt to pronounce a foreign language authentically. I understand. I've heard you speak about this in the past, but wondered if you have any further thoughts on this. I think it depends on in which context you do it. So, for example, if you're teaching, let's say you're teaching, and let me just give you an example with Japanese, because actually people get pissed at me when I do it, so I think it's a good example. So let's say I'm teaching Japanese. If I'm teaching Japanese, so I'm teaching something about Japan, and at one point I'm using the word, I want to say, I don't know, the word yumi or the word katana or whatever, any of these words. Right now I'm not pronouncing them correctly in Japanese. So if anyone mimics the way I just said it, or if I say samurai, I'm not pronouncing it like the Japanese do. So will the Japanese understand me? Yes. But is it how they pronounce it? No. Is it how I teach my students to pronounce it? No. So what should I do? And that's the thing. So if it's in a teaching scenario, I think it's fine to at least say it once correctly. So in this case, yumi, samurai, etc. Katana, and blah, 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 like the Japanese say it, katana. And then just revert back to the natural way as you're speaking English. Okay, so that people that are interested, they can learn it. They're like, oh, so that's how it's pronounced. As long as you say it, like the Japanese say it, yumi. Okay, let's go back to say it in the most natural way as I'm speaking English. I think that's what I like doing. I say it at least once correctly so that people can use it as a learning opportunity. Maybe it's because I'm a teacher, once a teacher, always a teacher. I always want to make sure that people learn it correctly. But then I revert back to something that feels more natural in the flow of the language that I'm speaking. Now, with that being said, I think there are situations in which it can be fun. You kind of have to learn to read your audience as well. So, for example, if you see that your audience absolutely loves to hear the full pronunciation in Latin of, I want to say, Gaius Julius Caesar Octavianus Augustus, if they enjoy that, instead of saying Julius Caesar, you could say like that. I didn't mean Julius Caesar, but you know what I mean. Julius Caesar instead of Julius Caesar, as a secondary example. If you see that they enjoy it, you could do it. But if you see that people don't like it and it's going to create a barrier, maybe just say it once for learning and then switch to revert back to English. That's what I would do. How many countries did you visit? So, of course, I was everywhere in Italy, mostly, the most famous places. Japan, China, America, Swiss, Slovenia. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but these are the main countries that I visited, I believe. So yeah, there's that. Thank you, Ngi. Let me get your name. 1 second. Thank you, Ngi Lee, for the $10 donation. I appreciate. Hi, Metatron. Thank you. In your opinion, which one is more barbaric, the Romans or the Spartans? It kind of depends on what you mean by barbaric. If you mean barbaric in the sense that they're not Romans, so they're barbarians, and of course the Spartans. But yeah, anyways, I think you mean like in the way they fight. Well, you see, the thing is that both were professionals, which is something that people often forget. The Spartans were professional soldiers. So they wouldn't have been like, oh, I'm going to go there all naked with a battle axe. They're professionals, so they wouldn't do that. And besides, the Spartans were actually very well learned, as far as we understand. Let me just make sure that I'm not forgetting any super chat. Thank you, Yulo. Hey, Metatron, have you heard of the game Ancient Wars Sparta? It's an RTS with historical elements with a Roman civilization, and you can choose which equipment you give to your units. Wow! Would be cool to see you react to it. I did not know. I'm writing it down. Thank you for the donation and for this Ancient Wars Sparta. Ancient Wars Sparta. See? Pen and paper. I'm an old style guy. You can tell I was like brought up in the freaking 90s, 80s really, if I really have to say, full on. I'm more I'm a pen and paper guy when it comes to these things. So there is that. Let's see. David Coulter, thank you for the £5 donation. Fustibalus Staff's link. Do you know of a reference any earlier than Vegetius de Re Militari? Actually, no. But I can look into it. If you think it could be an interesting topic for a video, maybe to focus on that kind of weapon. For like the unbelievable, I can't remember now the name in Latin for the unit, but it happens, I guess. But yeah, I'll look into it. Thank you for the donation. Oh, KCD2 says Marauder. KCD2 has been confirmed. That's wonderful. I'll have to ask them if they want to do a collaboration, because in the past, when they released Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, I went to their main studios in Czech Republic to have an interview with their historian, actually. It's still on the channel. And it was an interesting one. I asked questions like, where the heck are the crossbows? And they answered. It was, because early 15th century Bohemia was very much of a crossbow country. So I was like puzzled, but they said it was mostly technical difficulties, which of course I don't understand because I'm not a developer. So I can't say, oh, why? I can't say it, but I can ask. An interesting thing about Kingdom Come Deliverance is that their historian, the one that they used for the first one, she's actually specialized in medieval architecture and art, and you can see that their buildings are absolutely incredible compared to the real buildings in the Middle Ages. They are a little shrunk, a little bit. I want to say 20%, so not something noticeable unless you're like crazy into medieval stuff. But they are absolutely phenomenal, and in fact, that's why I think that's the best thing in that game. Even better than their armor, because their armor sometimes has reenactorisms, which I would have wanted to tell them, but maybe I could tell them for the next one, or maybe they don't care, whatever. But I've noticed that kind of stuff. So their armor is good, their weapons are good, but sometimes it feels like I'm looking at a reenactor group rather than a real situation in the real medieval period, because there are differences. There are things that we do as reenactors that people didn't do, or weren't as common as we make them to be, which could be a whole new video really to make. Yeah, the buildings in that games are amazing, absolutely. Judge Lee, as I say, I think it's the best thing in that game. It's not the thing that I'm mostly interested in, because I'm more into armor and combat, but if I have to say what the best thing that they've ever done, even better than their clothing that sometimes was cutting a little too high to be a real medieval garment, and it's still good, don't get me wrong, I'm just literally nitpicking, but there is that. Employee asks, dove stai adesso? In America. I'm in America. Sono in America. Ever played Mountain Blade? Yes, I have. I used to play the old one. I haven't played the new one, though. Is it called Bannerlord? I believe. I should try it. Would you make a video about Oda Nobunaga? Yes, I made a video about Date Masamune back in the day. It was a Patreon special that got published onto YouTube, so you can find it. It's unlocked. I'll have to look into it, absolutely. Thank you for that. In a little bit, I'm going to show you the man cave. We already reached and surpassed the likes. So I'm going to read a couple of more comments, and then we have a little tour of the man cave. Breno Augusto asks, Metron, what do you think of the Crusader King game series? If it's the one that I think it is, and I believe it is, then I really like it. Any city builder, any RTS, any strategy game, any turn-based strategy game, they are all up my street. They are all up my alley. Recently, today, my wife and I played for at least 3 hours, maybe 2 hours. We played Heroes of Might and Magic. First, we played Heroes of Might and Magic 3, because we had to finish a game from 2 days ago that we've been playing. We play Hot Seat. And then today, we started playing Heroes 6. 3 is, I suppose, the better game, but 6 is fun. And it has some... I know people hate 6, but I actually like it. My history professor says SW Tor Sutor Gamer plays Total War. I play Total War 2. I'm actually using the engine of Rome Total War 2 for my next video, which should come out in the next few days, to make machinimas. So yeah, you'll see that. You will see that. And I've done it all historically accurate. I've done it. So when it's in the Republic, you only see Republican soldiers. When it's in the Empire, you see Imperial soldier. Because that's actually something that pisses me off. Maybe it shouldn't. It's just me. But it's something that kind of pisses me off when I see documentaries on YouTube from people that are actually very knowledgeable when it comes to the history. But then they're like, we are in the Republican period and Julius Caesar, and then I see Imperial soldiers. I'm like, come on. You know what I mean? So I kind of like, for my thing, I decided, I might F up other things that maybe people know better than me, but at least that one I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do it right. Do you animate your own videos? Yeah, I do everything. I do the editing, I do the animation, I do everything. Maybe people tell me you should get an editor, but to be honest, I enjoy editing my videos because when I write my videos, and oftentimes they're fully scripted. Not all my videos are scripted, but many videos are scripted. I write them in a way, I edit them in a completely different way. Like the editing is where I really create the final product. And sometimes I change things completely. Like in my project, point number 2 is going to become point number 7 because I'm thinking, no, they're going to enjoy more point number 5 because now I've edited, I put the music, it's really cool, so let's put it instead of point 2. I need to be able to do that. I don't feel I would want to pay a professional to do that. So there's that. Reported Stolen says, why did you choose the name Metatron? Do you enjoy mysticism? I'm not particularly into mysticism, but I have a dedicated video. He's my favorite angel. I have a dedicated video. I like the lore behind it. And just look for the video, why did I call my channel Metatron? And you'll have all the answers in a full-on video that it's from many years ago, so I never get to the point. Because it only took me 8 years to figure out that you need to get to the point quick if you want to have success on YouTube. Instead, I was like, yeah, so this morning I had an egg and scrambled before I get to the freaking Roman Empire. So, it took me a while, but I finally, I don't even know why people put up with me because I was getting subscribers. I'm like, wow, people are great. So there's that. Let's see. Here we are. Who are your three favorite Caesar? Oh, that's difficult. But my favorite is the first one, Octavianus. Augustus. He's my favorite. Number 2. Believe it or not, number 2 might be number 2. I'm not sure. I really like Tiberius. And but I don't know number 3. Like there are too many good ones and it's difficult for me to really choose. I'd have to think about number 3. But I like Tiberius and I like Augustus. Octavianus Augustus, and then we'll see. There are quite a few. Let's see. Marcus Aurelius is really a good one too. Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult to choose. No, I didn't get my name from the Transformers movie. No, that's Megatron with a G. Let's see. So a question from Adrian. Sorry to ask again, no problem. But would you ever consider making a video about the Yumi, since we just said about the Yumi and how it was used throughout Japanese history? Yes, actually, it's one of my planned videos. I just don't know why I never got to it. I think it was kind of difficult to gather information because I want to be very, thorough. But it's planned. It's on my list. So eventually, I think I will. But thank you for the reminder. Commodus Best Emperor confirmed. You troll. Elizabeth Fortino, thank you for the $10 donation. Hello, I just wanted to say I love your content. Appreciate how you educate through research, and I enjoy your style of presentation. Thank you. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Very much appreciated. It's great to have you here. Vespasian was awesome. Constantine was based. Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Let me show you the man cave a little bit. So I'm gonna turn it around, and we've got. So what do we have here? So this is my sofa. Not particularly interesting, I guess. I've got some armor here right now because I've been filming. Usually this all goes back to the. It all goes back to the garage. Then here I've got my gaming collection. Although you've got 4 missing because I'm using them as the stand for this phone during the live because I like improvising. Mostly very old games from when I was a kid, I suppose. and we have got Nintendo, Super Nintendo. Most of these are originals. A couple have a replica box, but the majority are original. One of this is probably the one in best condition that I have from the late 80s, and it's in fantastic conditions anyways. So Mega Drive, Genesis,
My love.
PlayStation 1.
I'm sorry to bother you. Mom's getting pizza. Do you want pizza?
Yeah, I'll have
Well, it's for Papa John's. I know you don't like them, but
Papa John's
do you want
pizza.
their cheese bread?
I'll have a cheese bread,
You want
thank
that?
you. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. We're getting pizza apparently. That's great. And I've got some Amiga down here, lots of Warhammer and Ninja Turtles because I'm absolutely obsessed with Ninja Turtles. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Papa John's, I'll have to say. So definitely not a sponsored video, but I like the cheese bread, so that's what I'm having. Sega should get back on to consoles. I agree. I've got the original Sonic for both Master System and Mega Drive. Anyways, this is the gaming section. Then that's the computer that I use for editing my content and a lot of water, I suppose. The TV where I play, my printer. It's a full-on man cave, let me tell you. Like, it's really fun to be here. Silver play button. You know, hopefully one day I'll be able to get the other one. This is what I use for VR HEMA, I suppose. And someone asked PS2. Yes, I've got some PS2 as well. I've got the all generations: PS1, PS2, PS3, 4, 5, the whole thing. I'm really into gaming. I mean, some people might not think that, but I am. Love video games. Can't help it. So we're back. Next update is gonna go. We're gonna go to the garage. We're gonna see the full armory. So stick with me. It's gonna be great. We're gonna check out the armory towards the end here. Okay, so let me make sure that I don't. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, when it comes to American pizza, it's just a different kind of pizza. I don't expect, I think a lot of Italians expect American pizza to be like the Italian one. And when, of course, it fails, they're like, oh, I don't like this. But at the end of the day, it depends. I mean, fast food pizza is not the best representation of what America can do when it comes to pizza. I think you need to go, and I've been to New York, and I've never been to Chicago, probably should, but I've been to those places that make the pizza, and they're not chains, and you can tell that that's much better. I still prefer Italian pizza. I'll always prefer Italian pizza in Italy, but it's good. I enjoy it. I would be lying if I said, oh no, this tastes bad. I like it. When it comes to fast food chains and pizza, Pizza Hut, I like it, but it's a bit greasy. So I like it, but an Italian pizza, I can eat the whole thing. Pizza Hut, I can 3 slices and I'm done. Papa John's, the reason why I don't like Papa John's is because it's too sugary. It's too sweet for me. I checked it. I checked their ingredients, and I'm like, goodness gracious, they put sugar in everything. But I enjoy the cheese bread, so that's why I told my wife, yeah, get me the cheese bread, because she really likes that. I prefer Domino's over Papa John, to be honest. So there's that. How did we end up talking about pizza? I don't know. Neapolitan pizza is the best. I agree. Pizza in Naples is number 1. But I'm telling you, pizza in Sicily, if you know where to go. If you don't know where to go, it's not going to be good. But if you know where to go, it's going to be amazing. Not as good as Naples, but very close. I was watching, my wife was watching a video the other day with this couple, and he's from the north of Italy, and she's from America, and they were eating pizza in New York, and he was saying, yeah, people in Sicily don't know how to make pizza. And I'm like, you have never been to the right place, mate. So you shouldn't talk. Don't talk about what you don't know. I can tell him where to go. For example, in Palermo, there is a place called Archestrato di Gela. Very complicated name, but they make phenomenal pizza. Phenomenal. So awesome man cave. Thank you so much. Appreciate that you like it. Sean Rooney asks, how old are you? So technically 6,000 years old, but the actual answer is I'm 40. I am, yeah, I've got 40. That's my age. I was born in 1982. That's why I say I was brought up in the 80s, and that's why I've got so many games from the 8-bit era, because that's what I used to play when I would come back home from elementary/primary school. Come back home, play my NES, play my games, and I like to recreate that. In fact, one of my dreams is to have one room in the house there is going to be a time capsule to the early 90s where everything, music, you don't look 40, you appreciate, thank you. So like music, video game, telephones, screens, everything's going to be from the 90s, so that I can recreate a time capsule of my childhood. Well, actually, I was already a teenager in the 90s, but you know what I mean. That's my idea. Love your work. Thank you, Rick. It's great to have you here. Italian Stone Crack, man. Thank you. So, thought you to be younger at least 5 years. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Here we are. Favorite kind of wine, I suppose, depends what you're pairing it with. But if it was just wine, yeah, good red, but it needs to be a good red. Otherwise, I'm going to white. But if it's a good red, I prefer a good red. What inspired you to study history? Initially, it's because, and that's why I think there is power in gaming and entertainment. It was video games at first. Definitely not my teacher, because at school teachers were horrible. They made you think like, oh gosh, this is so boring, I don't even want to hear it. Then I would play a Game Boy. I'm like, ooh, that's a knight. That's so cool. Boom. Started got interested in knights. Then I got interested in samurai, like with Bushido Blade and games like that. And I'm like, you know what? I want to study this. I want to know what happened. Then RPGs, absolutely. You say fantasy RPGs, absolutely. RPGs, role-playing games. And then I think it's as a teacher, that's what I tried to do when I was teaching high school. You need to inspire the students. If the students are there and they don't want to be there, you don't want to be there, they can sense it. If you are passionate and you can inspire them, like I got inspired, like many of you got inspired probably. Like I'm just going to give you one example. There is this game called Old World. It's like a 4X, like Civilization. We were playing, and I selected the faction of the Assyrians because I've already played the Romans so much. So I'm playing the Assyrians, and now I'm like, wait, I want to know more about the Assyrians because the game is making me like them. So boom, I went reading about the Assyrians, and then I'm reading about Babylonia and all of that situation. And I believe, that would have so much power with the youth if you really get them to, get passionate about something. Age of Empire, best teacher for children. Absolutely. Yeah. I freaking love Age of Empires 2. I also have 4, but 2 is great. What's your favorite movie? It's going to sound strange, but actually, it's not going to be something Roman. Well, should you be surprised? I freaking debunk Roman movies all the time. Probably The Sphere with Dustin Hoffman. So it's about aliens. Very cool. Very beautiful movie. And I also like The 13th Floor. I don't remember any famous... There is a famous actor in it, but I don't remember his name. That one is about VR, but believe it or not, it's actually old. So it's a very interesting retro approach to VR. Very, very cool films. So those will be my 2 favorite ones. I wish I could say my favorite movie is this medieval movie, but if they always keep doing things that make me go, that is one problem. And I think you all have that problem. When you learn too much about a specific subject because you're passionate about it, and then you start noticing all the things that they get wrong, and then you don't enjoy it. Sphere, really? 13th Floor? Yeah. Those are my favorite. Absolutely. I've watched them like so many times. Literally. Thank you, Jason Kukulo, for the $5 donation. I appreciate. Although Acer and Theodoric sent legates in subjugation. 1 second. To the east. Oh, I just misclicked. Where is it? I need to click it like this. There you go. To the Eastern Emperors, do you believe that this means that Roman Empire did not fall in 476? And it's an interesting approach, but I think it depends on what you mean by the fall of the Roman Empire. If you mean the fall of the main government body, then it still did fall. If you mean that, and if people use it to say, so Romans don't exist anymore, then we could have a debate on that, and then it becomes a different discussion. It really depends on what people mean. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. Let's see. Jeremy, how are you doing? Support any football clubs? Not particularly. Well, I suppose when I was younger, when I was a kid, I used to support AC Milan. And that's because my city, Palermo, was in Serie B. It wasn't in Serie A. And we all wanted to participate in Serie A support, if you're talking about football or soccer. But then as Palermo got into Series A, I started supporting Palermo. So I think those 2, probably. Might change my mind in the future. We'll see. Utero asks, I wonder, do your American in-laws hesitate before serving wine with a meal to an Italian? Like, what if they get the wrong one? No, they don't. Also because they usually don't really serve much wine. They mostly drink beer, water, I guess whiskey, since we're in Tennessee, although I don't think they drink much whiskey, but I suppose rather than wine, beer and whiskey would be more common over here. But no, they don't hesitate. Let's see. And then they shouldn't, because I mean, at the end of the day, I'm the guest here. They're in their country. They should do whatever they want. Gabrielle asks, do you own any guns now that you are in America? I don't, but my wife does, and so by reflection, we do. I don't, simply because I'm not allowed yet. Good morning from Japan. I'm happy to see you here, says Ash Manzarek. Hey, thank you for joining. Where about in Japan are you? Be great to know that. Milan got hammered by Sassuolo earlier today. Yeah, I heard that they weren't doing very well, but I don't follow it much anymore. I'm saying when I was a kid, I liked Milan. I don't even know why, since my favorite color is blue. It would make more sense that I would support Inter rather than Milan, but I don't know why I liked that one. And that's what happened. Sean Rooney asks, so you taught high school history? You have acclaimed degrees in history, I'd assume. No, I actually taught languages. I used to teach languages, but then again, sometimes my headmaster, she knew that I really liked history and culture as well, so she would let me teach either special projects or just have public conferences where, because I wasn't just a high school teacher, I was a language expert, so it's kind of a different situation. And I'd like to underline, language expert doesn't mean that I know everything. I don't. But I'm just saying it's a different position when it comes to how you're allowed. I was a bit more free when it came to what I wanted to teach. Let's put it this way. Do you like bourbon whiskey? I'm not really very much for super alcoholic drinks, to be honest. I'll just try it once in a while, but I'm not. I don't really drink much alcohol, only occasionally. But yeah, that's that. I live in Nashville. Welcome to Tennessee. Thank you, Shannon Cole. It's great to have you here, my friend. Congratulations to you and Kenzie for the new home. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Anonymous says, do you plan on visiting any Civil War battle sites? Tennessee is full of them. I've actually visited one, although I don't remember because it was 3 years ago, but I have visited one. I think they have them marked with cannons here, like old style Civil War cannons. Yeah, I'm always interested in visiting battle sites. Absolutely. Did I miss the garage? No, you haven't. We'll go there soon. So there is that. Tom Latham, thank you for the donation, my friend, a $5 donation. What is your opinion on Spanish conquistadors? Do they get a bad rep? You have a favorite one? I don't really have a favorite one, but I do have a full-on dedicated video, if you want to check it out. Do they get a bad rep? Some do. As I have explained on that video, some of the things we hear are actually wrong, false. Some of the things we hear are true. Some of the horrible things they did are true. But then again, not everything is true that we hear. There is some 15th century propaganda in there as well. So I'd like to refer you to. I say in general, some of the things the conquistadors did were absolutely horrible. But then again, it's difficult to judge history from a modern perspective sometimes. But not everything you hear about what they did is real. So it's good, I think, to have. I have a dedicated video to the Aztecs, where I talk about that. Thank you, Federation Army, for your $10 donation. Our Metatron, where do you see the US going in 10 years with the current climate of revisionist history happening? I don't think we're gonna go anywhere. I hope we're not gonna go anywhere. I really hope that the woke just stay a loud minority. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, some of the things that happen sometimes, I'm just glad that I think the majority of Americans understand what the wokes are. But it is what it is. And sometimes I actually see people, like I was speaking once with this kid, and he was saying, well, you always speak badly again of the woke, but I would consider myself woke. But then we talked. I'm like, mate, you're not woke. You're open-minded. You're a nice person. You like other people. You maybe I think woke is just one specific section of a political spectrum as well. It's not even everyone leaning on that political spectrum. It's just that little. And after we talked, I'm like, mate, you shouldn't. You're not a woke. It is what it is. Throw the woke in the Colosseum. Oh, that would be great. That would be great. Yeah. Do you own any chainmail like Beowulf? I don't remember his his mail specifically, but yeah, I do own mail. Right now, the mail I own is just a male skirt and a male kind of upper part. But I will get a full-on male shirt, specifically Norman, soon. Let's see. Sean Rooney says woke is radical left. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I have friends who, of course, I have friends in both, and I have viewers in both sides of the political spectrum. And it's funny because sometimes I'm like, you're a right wing, then you hate the woke. You're a lefty, and you also hate the woke. It's like that happens. It happens. It's just one specific section that, yeah, it is what it is. What can we do? I am a true awoken. Hello, Piccolo-san. Good to have you here. Hello, Perfectism. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Dean Brown says, I consider myself very left, but the extremes can be crazy. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and I think anyone who watches this channel, for example, is pissed, regardless of your political affiliation, gets pissed when they try to change history, when they change the facts, when they have agendas that are dishonest, and that's what it is, right? Regardless of what you think, regardless of what your specific ideas are on smaller aspects and even major aspects. So yeah. Tribunus, thank you for the £5 donation. Who do you think was the better emperor, Heraclius or Justinian? Love from East Anglia. I'm a little partial there because I kind of like Justinian. I'm interested in history more. Was he the better emperor or the best emperor? I would have to go into a deep dive comparison to really weigh them as emperors. But out of the two, if you ask me right now, without the deep dive, which one do you choose? I'm going to say Justinian. But that's that. Oh, it's funny. Tia says both extremes need to be tossed out the window. I'm not very much for extremes. I'm not very much for extremes. I have my own political ideas. I have my own opinions, of course, but as I say, there is good in both, there is bad in both, but the woke are just full bad. That's what it is, my friend. Anyways, maybe it is because I'm 40. Maybe it is because I'm from the 80s. I was born in the 80s. You know, it's just a different way of how can you be offended by the truth. It's like, oh, I'm offended because you said this. Okay, yeah, no, I said it, but I said it because we're just talking about it. Pisses me off. It pisses me off how people get offended by everything offends them. Like, oh, I'm offended because you use this word that I don't like. Well, if you don't like it, don't use it, but don't come and take my freedom of what I want to say, as long as I'm not insulting you, as long as I'm not attacking you, then who cares if you get offended, right? But that's what it is. It's like it is what it is, I suppose. It is what it is.
We're gonna go pick up the food.
Okay, no problem. Be careful. They're going to go pick up the food. So pizza. And soon, I'll take you to the Garage Armory. So we're going to have some fun there and see what happens. I'm sure you're going to like it. I hope we don't lose connection, but I don't think we should. Well, if we do lose connection on my way there, don't worry, I'll come back up and we'll reconnect. But with wife, I mean, we should be okay. We should totally be okay. Did the Romans eat pizza? No, but they had something similar called pita, probably of Greek origin. That wasn't exactly pizza because they didn't have tomatoes, of course, since tomatoes came from America after Christopher Columbus, who was Italian, by the way. Stop saying that he was Spanish. The Spanish crown paid for it. The Spanish crown paid for the ships and manned them. But the guy was from Genoa, Italy. I've been to his house. It's still there standing in Genoa. Anyways. So yeah, he brought the early the tomatoes from America in the 15th century to Italy. And by the way, early tomatoes were yellow and small. The tomatoes that we have now that are red and big, they are something we made. Okay, we made that, but they're man-made. But the original one were different. So yeah, no pizza with tomatoes for the Romans. But yeah, but there's probably a connection to that. It's interesting because I also read an article as to how, like, and then people would be like, why pita became pizza with a ts sound, and believe it or not, the changing of the T to the Z is of barbarian origins, not Latin. But anyways, that's that. Let's see. Okay, so Mohabad says, hey Metatron, can you make a video on food eaten during the Roman Empire like the Japanese ones you did? Yeah, sure. I did some collaborations, but on my best friend's channel called You Better Call Sal. And if you can't find it, you can write You Better Call Salvo and it will appear for whatever reason. I don't know why. If you write his full name, it appears. Anyways, if you write ancient Roman Metatron food, because I'm in there, I think you should get it. But I could make some new ones because these are old videos, so maybe it would be nice to remake it and look into cuisine, like cook with Metatron, make pasta with Metatron. Should totally do that. Christopher Columbus is a triple agent. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, it's funny. Tanner the Pan Man says, we all know Christopher Colombo was a light-skinned black man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is what it is with that. That's another different Pandora's box, sort of can of worms that I'm not sure I want to open again, but I did open it several times because that's the thing. It's not that controversial. I'll be fully transparent with you. I understand fully when I choose to make a controversial video that it will get more views. I won't say like, no, I only do it because I also do it for the views, but it's risky because it can get demonetized. So it's always like a high risk, high reward situation. But the the main reason why I do that, I do make controversial videos, risking as well a little bit my career as a YouTuber, since this is how I pay the bills here, is because I just can't stand and shut up when I have to hear people. I have to stand because I have a platform and I have to stand. When I hear people that they need to change because, again, they're offended and because I don't know what they're trying to prove or what they're trying to do. But if I have data, they need to convince me with data, not with, threatening of cancel culture and that. No, that's not how you convince free people. You convince them with real data. Then I'll be the first one to scream it from all the rooftops. Hey, we need to change this because now we have the data. But it is what it is. Please, Metron, how do you eat pasta with or without spoon? Absolutely without spoon. To not offend anyone is to not say anything. Absolutely, Sean Rooney, you're spot on right there. Spot on. So we've been live for 72 minutes. Guys, you're great putting up with me for so long. I don't even know where I'm going with this live. We're just talking. Let's see. Gosh. Let's see. A lot of comments. You eat pasta with a knife. No, you don't. Let's see. You're going to the garage. Yes, I am. I'm going to go to the garage in a couple of minutes. I just want to read this one thing here. Oh, thank you for the donation, Morrison. I very much appreciate. Hello, mate. After years of watching your videos, I finally managed to catch you live. Hi, welcome. Just wanted to thank you for the content. Wish you nothing but the best in the years to come. And if I may ask a question, what do you think of language books similar to Lingua Latina, per se illustrata? Okay, and do you know anything similar for Japanese cheers? I don't know. I know the book. I've read it. I've actually studied it. My cousin gave it to me. It's a great book. I love books that teach the language in the language. They're great. Maybe not enough to reach fluency only with that. Actually, definitely not enough. But it's good as a instrument, something that you can use to implement an increase. It's a teaching aid. I have no idea if they do something like that for Japanese. Let's go to the garage / armory. But as I was saying, if I get disconnected, please come back You listen to you for 12 hours straight. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate it. So if I get disconnected, I'll immediately come back here and push reconnect so we get back on track. But I think we should be able to. We need to go downstairs and it might get a little dark. And also my dogs are going to be all over me. I got two dogs. So here we are in the living room that I might as well show you. So this is the living room here. And the backyard, the kitchen. Here we are. But what we are really here to see, let me turn on the light. There we go. Is the garage / armory. Okay, so just let me double check. I'm just gonna point you to me simply because I think it is better. Oh yeah, the car is not here because they went to get pizza. So here we are. So this is the garage and boom. You could definitely tell that this is a Deus Vult. Yeah, to the garage, Deus Vult. Here we are. So it's still not perfect because, as you can see, I still have boxes from the move. Typical US home, absolutely. I'm just gonna move it a little bit. We've got the scutum there. We've got this section here. It looks, I did it like this just because I wanted to look a little bit like Skyrim or Oblivion armories where you can actually see the stuff put like this on top of shelves and bronze helmet there. I got my plate shoulders, fantastic, thank you, little gray, appreciate it. We've got a buckler there for in case you want to train, you can pick it up. And then this is the plate section, and here is where I put the breastplate that I'm currently wearing. So once I'm done, Metatron has taken over, absolutely. So this is the Gothic plate. These are 14th century. Okay, so here's a question for you. Which of these is titanium? One is steel, one is titanium. Let's see who can guess which one is steel. So you just write left or right, which one is titanium. See if you can identify it. I'll give you 60 seconds. And then we'll check the frogmouth helmet, a little gray. Absolutely. See if you can tell. Someone says right, left, left. Look at that. I'm gonna show it from a little closer. This is the one on the right. This is the one on the left. Wow, lots of votes. Look at that. Left, right. Which one is it? Let's see if you can tell. So, don't know if that gives any hint. The sound. Okay, I'm gonna tell. Wow, it's both. No, not both. One is steel. One is heat-treated medium carbon steel, and one is titanium. Oh, I see that a lot of people are changing their answer now. Look at that. Okay, I'm giving you the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, titanium is on the left. Yeah, quite a few changed to they said, yeah, exactly. So this is actually quite heavier. This, look at that, 45% basically less massive. So yeah, the right is steel, and the left one is titanium, which was for a collaboration that I did with Knight Errant. So anyways, down here I've got someone. Thank you for participating, by the way. I hope you got it right, or left in this case. So Samurai Armor is down here, the new one. And here we've got the beautiful Frogmouth Beast. Look at that, and tell me it's not Lap from Dark Souls. And then that's the placket that I can connect to the breastplate that I am wearing now. And then we move to the board game department. Yeah, also left one is a little more matte in color, that's correct. Although I guess you could bring titanium to a full polish if you wanted to. But yeah, left is very light. Like when you move them, you'll immediately know. Giveaway was the rust. There isn't really any rust. Maybe there is a little bit tiny little bit, but yeah, that could have given it away. You're right, because of course titanium doesn't rust. So lots of board games here, and of course WD-40, because it's always good to have. Dune, absolutely. Dune is one of my favorite board games. And then we have Brigandine here, made by Alexei Perebeinos, probably one of my best pieces. This is steel. The outside is hand spun silk velvet, and all of the rivets, of which I have 2,000, are brass. Thank you, Rod, Undefined Rod, for the $10 donation. Appreciate. And let me see if I can read. Out of all of it, I just love the Frogmouth. You know, the Frogmouth is my favorite helmet. Love the Sentinels in Dark Souls. Love Lap, although the Lap set is more 16th century, really. Perhaps I'll make a video about it. Yeah, I don't want to know how much you spent moving all of that from Italy, says Epilogue. I'm telling you, I'll tell you. So all of my armor, plus all the board games, plus all, I want to say, what else did I send? All of my miniatures cost me about $1,000. So not too bad if you can, all things considering. But the Frogmouth helmet was sent to me because it was made in Europe when I was already here. So I just paid the shipping regularly. So not too bad. Not too bad. Oh yeah, Rubbish. Yeah, Rubbish, you should totally get some armor. My pleasure. Thank you for being here. And AI pal, you know, I'm just gonna do this because I think that's a great background for streaming. Thank you, Al the Pal, for the $2 donation. Check out Anthony Cummings' work on The Real Shinobi. Oh yeah, I've collaborated with Anthony Cummings a few times over the years. If you look on my channel, just write Anthony Cummings and you'll find a few. We don't agree on everything, but I like the guy. I think people that call him a fraud just don't like him, and they're not being 100% honest. There are some things I don't agree with the guy, particularly when he talks about his approach on traditional martial arts and stuff like that. But still, a lot of the things he says are true, and I love the Shinobi work, the work on the Shinobi that he has. Kurayami, thank you for the $5 donation. Hey, Metatron, I know you're busy due to your job, but have you heard of Omed Shogo? If not, would a collaboration be possible in the future? Yes, I heard of him. Yes, I have heard of him, but I don't remember him right now. So I'll check out his channel once I'm done here. Thank you for the reminder. Highway, thank you for the $20 donation. When will your armor arrive? I still haven't ordered it because, you know, all of this moving house actually had a significant cost. So for now, I had to stop for the investments on the helmets, but I will start them hopefully soon. And everyone who has participated today with the donations, you have all been very, very generous. And I would like to also say, I don't know if you can see, because I can see how much money altogether the super chats are making. I don't know if it's public, but if it's not, I'm gonna tell you, because I believe in full-on transparency. We have accumulated 482 euros and 26 cents of donations, which actually I can start, I believe, putting towards an armet. My dogs are going nuts because they think I left them. I don't want to abandon. Okay. So anyways, just wanted you to know how much we made. One, because it will go towards the armet, and two, because I always like that to be public. That's why my Patreon is public, and how much I make on Patreon, because I want people to donate knowing. Because someone might think, hey, this guy already got over 400 euros with one live. I was going to donate, but now I want to donate it to someone who doesn't make as much, and that's totally fine. You know, I respect that. So that's why I like people to know that. Don't forget YouTube gets 30. Yeah, I know YouTube gets a cut, but still, if it wasn't for YouTube, I wouldn't be here. So it is what it is, but it's great. Yeah, the dogs. So come here. This is, let me show you the dogs. The dogs are great. So this is, his name is Winston Salsicciotto, and he's a Pomeranian, which in Italian we call Volpino. Volpino, ciao, 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 He, of course, speaks Italian. Ciao, 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 ciao. And then we have the other one, and her name is Kiva. Hello. Hi. Yeah, of course they're gonna fight for attention. Now they're gonna fight for attention. Now they're gonna fight for. There he is. He's jealous. He is jealous. And so here we are. Absolutely. Let's go back to. Let's go back upstairs. I'm actually looking forward to the cheese bread. So I really like cheese bread. And here they are. Look how athletic. Much more athletic than me. Absolutely. I've got to say. Let me have it sit here. So we got nice lighting again. Maybe, next stream, which by the way, that's another thing that maybe I should have said at the beginning of the streaming, but I am going to make streaming like going live on YouTube a monthly thing. So every month, 15th of each month at 4 p.m. Central, I'm gonna go live. So we can make it an appointment. Every month, if you have ideas, thoughts, you don't have to randomly get here, but 15th of each month, 4 p.m. You can tell I'm a teacher and I repeat, 4 p.m. Central Time. I'll be here live. So next time it will be on the 15th. And on the 15th, don't miss out because I'm gonna stream in the backyard. So you can check out the backyard. It's gonna be great. Ezra Folk, thank you for the $10. You considered doing videos on Polynesian cultures and weapons. Ancient Hawaiian culture in particular has a lot of similarities to Japanese culture, and their bills, swords beat even iron and bronze ones. That's very interesting. I'll never thought about it, to be honest, and that is because, okay, just one second. Let me close the door so that the dogs don't play here. I've only got one now. Okay, so yeah, okay, all right, got you. So there are a lot of cultures that I am personally interested in, but I'm not versed in. I don't know. So that's why I usually focus on Japan, ancient Rome, medieval Europe. These are the ones that I mostly focus on because they are the ones that I've studied the most. But absolutely looking into something different occasionally would be nice. But that's that. Thank you for the donation. Jason Kukulo, thank you for the $2. Very, very generous. It's the second time, I think. Thoughts on Daito Ryu Jujutsu? I don't think I know that style. I understand Jujutsu, of course. And in general, I like Jujutsu because it's very ancient. If you compare it to style, so I'm going to talk about Jujutsu a little bit more in general since I don't know specifically that one, but the one thing I like about Jujutsu is that it's directly connected. Of course, it's been changed just like any other style, but at least it's directly connected to the era of the samurai, whereas like Judo is modern, Karate is modern, and I like them. I used to practice Karate. It's actually one of my favorite styles, particularly Kyokushin, so even more modern. But Jujutsu is interesting because it has a connection. And if you think about it, if you practice Kenjutsu, and then you practice Jujutsu, and you find someone who can teach you Aikijutsu rather than Aikido, then you are in a very similar when it comes to the curriculum to what the samurai did. Iaido, yes and no, in the sense that Iaido Sete is very modern. Some of the techniques come from what the samurai did. So I'm not saying that the samurai didn't learn to draw and kill, absolutely, but it wasn't just, you didn't have a samurai only did that. That's what we do in the modern sense, because of course we're not professional warriors, are we? Or maybe some of you are, but I'm saying. We choose one, hey, I want to do Kenjutsu, I want to do Jujutsu, I want to do Judo, I want to do Karate, I want to do whatever. You choose one style, but the samurai did everything. Someone who did everything. So from the point of view of samurai, someone who just does Iaido, or just does Kendo, or Kyudo, the bow, the Yumi, is like, what about the other 7 things you need to do to be a complete, entity? So anyways, Jujutsu, very interesting, absolutely. I like it because of the connection to what they did as one of the many things that they needed to know how to do. So to take someone, put him on the ground, subdue him, if you've lost your weapons. Absolutely. Let's see. What is the inspiration, says Rayosa Sin. What is the, sorry, Little Grey first. What is the inspiration behind the name of your channel? I will recommend, it's my favorite angel and my favorite law, but check out my Why Did I Call My Channel Metatron, and you'll have all the answers to that. Thank you. And Rayosa Sin says, can we have a video about Roman medicine? Absolutely. I believe, I don't know if it was you already asked me in one of the comments or someone else, but treat plague and illnesses. But yeah, Roman medicine. I do want to do that. So Roman medicine. Taking notes. Taking notes. I would be silly not to take notes because you guys have great ideas. Yeah, I like the way your minds work. Is the armor you're wearing conquistador? Not necessarily. I mean, well, yes and no, in the sense it's just a late 15th century breastplate. And did they have these at the time of the conquistadors? Absolutely, but it's not necessarily. It's just a breastplate in the Milanese style that any medieval knight of the 15th century, usually late, would have worn. So yeah, let's see. Zed Calop says, hey Metatron, I want to buy a samurai armor. Should I get the medium or light leg plates? I like okay, medium or light. I prefer light, believe it or not, because if you want the full solid shin protection, then go heavy, keeping in mind that you can't kneel though. So if you want more mobility, I personally like light. So in my personal collection, I have light and heavy. I do not have medium. I don't particularly like them with the folding knee. I understand why they did that, but I would go for light or heavy. If you feel like the heavy is fine, then yes. Yeah, Kiva is here.
With you?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Food's here.
Okay, and so that's that. Make a video on how the Romans would react to modern society. Oh, absolutely, that would be interesting. Another one that I need to kind of make a note for. I will go medium. That's fine. I mean, if you like medium ones, feel free to do that. No problem. No problem. And I think then you remove the message, so maybe you change your mind. Well, let me know. But yeah, it's about time to have dinner, I suppose. We've been here for 91 minutes, which is a very nice amount, and I very much appreciate. Thank you, Mac Walter Sampson, for the $10 donation. Could you possibly make Roman, Greek, and Japanese mythology-based videos? I think I have one. So yeah, Google Gods of Olympus. I do have one. And I would love to explore that too, absolutely. And Kurayami, $5, thank you. What are your thoughts on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? I love BJJ. I absolutely love BJJ because I want to know how often Samurai Bushi fought on the ground. Yeah, so BJJ, absolutely ground focus. I think it's a great martial art. I like the idea of pairing it with something else as well, to do a little stand-up as well. But it's a great martial art. How much did the samurai fight on the ground? I'm sure it happened. I mean, in the mess that a battlefield would be, I'm sure it happened. It'd be an interesting point to discuss, like how different would BJJ be from how they actually fought. I'll do a little research on that. I'm going to have to read the sources though, and see how many times in the sources we see description of a fight ending up on the ground. That'll be very interesting. But thank you everyone for joining in. And I'm going to see you again soon with my next upload, which is going to be hopefully on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, kind of depends how long it takes me to finish editing the video, which has to do with ancient Rome. It's the first episode of Mysteries of Ancient Rome. At the end of this video, I will put a link to my new second channel in the description of this video. So make sure to check it out, maybe come back in 10 minutes or so if you want to check that one out. And I'll also put it in the community tab perhaps tomorrow, in the next couple of days. Gonna have to still finish up touching the overall wallpaper and whatnot. And again, thank you so much, all of you, for your support. It was a pleasure to have you here. Hope I had a great time. Kiva had a great time. There she is. She really had a great time. And I'm gonna have this cheese bread now while my wife eats pizza. And that was great to have you here. So thank you very much again for your support. You are fantastic. And I'll see you again on the 15th of February, 4 p.m. for the next streaming episode. And we'll take it from there. Thank you. See you soon. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao.